All right, folks, how is it going? So, what have we got this week then? Quite a lot of action actually. So, my portfolio was 0.4% down over the week, and that's an underperformance compared to my three comparators. The Life Strategy 60 only was down 0.13%, and Life Strategy 100 was pretty much flat. So, that's progress not made for the week. So, where did that performance come from? Let's have a look. Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag. Obviously, we know about that one. The Trump nominee is an anti-vaxxer, so those two were hit hard. Yeah, they're the numbers anyway. And then if we go to Fundsmith, this confounded me a bit, but I've worked it out. We can see there that there's lots of big negative numbers. And I did an estimate here. I adjusted that column to do it for the week, and if we look at these numbers, it's about 2% down. So I was a bit confused as to why this said 0.11%. But yeah, in hindsight, it's obvious. If we look at the chart of the dollar to the British pound, we can see that from the 8th to the 15th, it went from about 0.77 to 0.79. So that couple of percent loss that these numbers indicate, these numbers here, they're wiped out by the change in the currency. I am for this column here, I haven't really thought about how. I can't think of like a simple way that doesn't require lots of different like columns in the spreadsheet to work out a percentage difference week on week that takes into account the FX impact. My dividends were a bit higher today due to Merchants Trust mainly, and then these other little ones. So that's a nice little boost. I actually haven't kept track of my cash levels for a while, so I'll probably have to do that soon just to see how I'm doing. I mean, I know how much I'm spending and I know how much I'm earning, but I haven't like totted it all up for a while. Yeah, and then the other things this week were pretty quiet on the RNS front. So we just had this announcement from Gore Street Energy Storage. It's basically just saying they've got the ability to loan more money. I think part of the process of building these sites, these battery storage sites, is that at certain times they qualify for loans because there's more of an asset there to write the loans against. I'm not sure if that's the right terminology. Anyway, anyway, basically they're just saying they've got the ability to borrow more money to keep on building the stuff they're building. But I mean, this one hardly had any debt at all last time I checked when I first bought it. So that isn't. It's not like I don't see that as being dangerous or anything. The ability to borrow more money. And then the only other RNS was Worldwide Healthcare half year report. I've read through it, but there's nothing. It's not like a dividend one, so there's nothing for me to directly care about. I kind of just let it happen. I let them decide what companies to buy because I have no idea. So it's just a load of talk, really. Yeah, not much to say. How did they do for the year for the half year then? Their share price was up 3.6% in the 6 months to September, 30th of September. So there we go. And then most of the action was me getting itchy feet by the looks of it. This is the screenshot, or sorry, screen recording from Thursday before I did it. Yeah, the 14th. So basically, I sold Scottish Oriental Income. It's just what it. I think the issue with it is it's a small holding. It's not particularly high in yield. I was looking at the charges. The charges are a little bit high for that kind of trust. Not that high. They're like 0.75%, but they also have a performance fee, and it just kind of tipped me over the edge. I decided just to sell it because my other international dividend ones, which aren't me choosing a certain geography, you can see I've highlighted Murray International there. See, at the time, Murray International and Henderson International were both yielding higher than Scottish Oriental. It was just kind of a size where it's a bit too in between. I should either double down on it and get a bigger position that matters more. I mean, considering that it's a fund rather than an individual company, I should go bigger or go to zero. So I was pondering here going between Murray International and Hint. I mean, looking at that, I really should go for Hint because it's a couple of grand less, so that would be like the rebalancing thing to do. But the yield is pretty much the same at the moment on the two. So at the time, Murray International was on 8.73% discount, as you can see there. Henderson International was on a bigger discount, 10.68. So that's another thing in favour of Henderson International. You can see there that Schroder Oriental Income, the one I'm selling, is at a 7.16% discount. So it's not like I'm getting a massive bargain on the discount front. It's gone from a discount to a slightly bigger discount. But as you can see, I ended up going with Murray International Trust just because of the spread was the kind of deciding factor. And also it's got slightly lower fees than Henderson International, and it's got more of like Schroder Oriental has TSMC as it is like 10% of its fund, which is massive. And I kind of like that holding for the long term. And Murray International in its top 10 has more of that kind of company in it. It's got Broadcom and TSMC itself. So Murray International has more of the stuff that I kind of liked from Schroder Oriental. So that and it's better liquidity. It's got a less of a spread than Henderson International. And I put approximately 2,690 went into Murray International. And then I was just kind of seduced by the lower levels recently seen with my individual holdings, my blue ones here. So I put, I had about 323 quid in my Trading 212 ISA. So I'll show a video of that later of me putting that into SCHD top 50 pie. There'll be a video of that later. I topped up PFE because that was doing badly at the time. We can see here, can't we? So you can see there that at the time Pfizer was down. My holding in Pfizer was down 5%. So I topped that up to about 3 grand. I put more into Care, Home REITs, NESF and GSF. And the NESF money went into my SIP. We can see all the transactions here actually. If we scroll down. So you can see there that I've sold soy, which is Schroder Oriental Income, in my iWeb GIA. So part of this is some of this is getting sheltered in tax wrappers, and I bought. So there we can see I bought Murray International in my iWeb ISA. So that's nicely. So that's using up the cash that was in there, doing nothing because iWeb doesn't pay any interest on the cash that's in those accounts. So that's kind of stopped that being wasteful. And as you can see there, I've got little records of the SCHD top 50 going in. This is in the ISA. And this is part of the SCHD, you'll see later. And then in the Trading 212 general investment account, so the invest account that's called, I just topped up Care REIT, Gore Street Energy and Pfizer. Pfizer was already in the GIA for Trading 212, but these are actually separate holdings. The rest of the holdings for these two are in the ISA. But with Trading 212, that doesn't matter because it doesn't cost you anything when you buy and sell. So spreading it around, if I ever wanted to sell the whole holding, that wouldn't cost any extra because there's no charge for the transactions. And then you can see I actually had to wait until the next day for Next Energy Solder because I sold my money market fund that was in my SIP. Sorry, no, it's not the SIP, is it? The LISA. Yeah, it's the LISA. So I sold the LISA. Sorry, I sold the money market fund in the LISA, and then the next morning I purchased Next Energy Solar. It didn't move much overnight, so I don't think I lost out very much with that time delay. And then as you can see here, the next day, having just topped up Pfizer, the next day Trump appointed is going to try, did he nominate him? Some Kennedy, and he's an anti-vaxxer. And GSK and Pfizer have lots of vaccines, I think. So, well, I know GSK does, I'm not sure about Pfizer. So having topped it up by 400 quid, it all went down again on Friday. You can see GSK and Pfizer there going down. GSK was actually lower than that earlier on in the day, but yeah, on the day they went down even more. So the Pfizer top up was a bad move. But anyway, I took that opportunity to sell a bit of my two banks. So I sold 500 quid of Barclays and Natwest, and I put the 4,000 into GSK. I didn't top up any more of Pfizer, I think mainly because GSK has kind of gone through its its kind of dividend danger zone. That's gone through because it's had its dividend cut, and now the dividend is on its upward trajectory. I'm hoping anyway. But I feel like Pfizer's dividend still has a possibility of getting cut in the short to medium term. These transactions have increased my income by about 39 quid, I reckon. And it added 6p to my cash levels. And I haven't actually worked out how much Barclays, Natwest, and GSK have changed. My projected dividends are up to 12,835. It's the usual story with these ones. This increase I've estimated here has the overlay of my pessimism. So 70% of the property ones, 50% of the renewable ones, roughly. That goes to 12 equals 12,835 minus 20. So we've gone from 4.15% increase from last year to 4.6% increase. I think I should stop now with adding to my, because these blue holdings are my own picks essentially, aren't they? And we're now up to 9%, just under 9%. So I think I should limit myself to 10% of my portfolio in this sort of thing. Oh, and the other slightly annoying thing was I was planning this last night, the night before, so like the 13th, the Wednesday. And I didn't realise that literally the day I did all these moves was the ex-dividend date for Schroder Income. So I'm going to get that 123 quid, and then that'll be my last one that I'll receive. But it's a bit annoying because it's artificially boosting my income for this year, and that's just going to make the comparison for the year after harder. I've got a feeling that that this year we're going to have this massive increase in my dividend. Currently projected that if I don't sell any of those pessimistically estimated dividends here, it'll be a 7.41 plus. Every time I get a dividend increase, it's going to go higher and higher. So I feel like what's going to happen is I'm going to have a big increase in my dividends this year, and I feel like the year after is going to be pretty flat in comparison. Maybe just 1% or 2% higher. So I mean, it's not bad. I know it's coming, so it's not like it's going to be a surprise to me. But it's something to temper my excitement when I see how big the dividend is now compared to last year. It's something, I need to keep it in perspective that the year after is going to be hindered by what's happening this year. Yeah, so I guess I'll leave off with this this is just for anyone who's interested in learning about trading 212 and how the pies work. You can watch this bit here of me trying to work out how to update my SCHD top 50 pie. So adding money to it. Well, you'll see. Before I can do SCHD, I need to get my pie prepared with the new percentages. So I guess I'll do that with you now, and you can see how it's done. I haven't reordered it, but my portfolio has BlackRock as the biggest holding. And if we go to their website, we'll see there that BlackRock's only the third biggest there for theirs. They've got Cisco and Bristol Myers Squibb as their top ones. Where have I got Cisco? Okay, sorry, I tell a lie. This has happened overnight. Cisco is now the biggest for mine as well. And what was the second one? Bristol Myers Squibb. Yeah, so the Bristol Myers Squibb is quite a big difference because it's quite a bit lower than these two for me, but it's bang in the middle of those two for theirs. So something is going wrong in my tracking of SCHD, but these are all just at the edges. It's not like a massive difference, is it? I don't need it to be exact. I mean, the first thing I definitely need to do, you can see there it's from the 14th. As of market open, so this is a lie. The market isn't open yet. So how can this possibly be from the market open? It must be the close prices from last night, but it's as close as we can get. So I've downloaded, see it just downloaded there. I've done this once before already, but I've recreated it for you guys. If we delete that, and I think it's in order. Yeah, it's in reverse order. So I should be able to just delete row 52 onwards. Yeah, they're not relevant to me because we can only do 50 in a pie. Right, so that just makes this spreadsheet neater. And then if we go to my spreadsheet, I've got a setup spreadsheet here, and the grey cells are what we change. So, right, so they all go. The dividends are now irrelevant because they're going to be different companies. We don't need them anyway to set up the portfolio. We don't need them. It's just afterwards. Percent of SCHD. Right, so this column should be grey as well, shouldn't it? So those percentages, they need to go. And then now we can paste in the percentage and the symbol from this spreadsheet, I think. We don't want the quantity, that's irrelevant. Delete column. So if we Control C there, okay, let's just paste them. And then we can set that back to what it was. Right, and then this adjust needs to be from the 14th. So this is just a slight adjustment. When the market opens, it'll just adjust the percentages by the movement of today, or well, you know, in an hour's time or whatever it is when the market's open. So it's from the close on the 14th of the 11th of November. That is. So if we change that, it shouldn't change the number now, should it? It should just be close. Oh, sorry, no, it's the close of the 13th, not the 14th. 14th is today. So that's the adjusted percentage of SCHD. And then my formula here converts that into the percentage of the whole of my 50. That's why all these numbers go up by a bit, because it's excluding, what's that, 6.03% of the portfolio has been excluded. So it makes up a bigger proportion of my top 50 pie than it does of SCHD itself. So now we just adjust this column. Because pies only accept one decimal place, I'll just reduce the decimal places here so I know what numbers to put in on the pie. But anyway, we're going to let this column sort of move a little bit once the market opens, and then maybe half an hour into the market opening, I will lock those numbers in, which will automatically lock those numbers in, and then I can go in, adjust the pie. There'll be a bit of a time delay between me setting these percentages and me actually rebalancing the pie, but it'll be close enough, you know. Because some of these holdings are going to be removed from the pie, so I think it's best to do that part of the editing of the pie now, and then just go in when the market's open and update the percentages. I figure it's best to do it on the phone because then I can look at the screen for the new percentages at the same time. And then the pie's down here, top 50. Can I sort this alphabetically? That's the question. I don't think I can, because that would be an easier way of doing it. I could delete the ones that don't exist anymore, go through them off. I can't do it. Let's just override that when it's done. So Lockheed Martin, AbbVie, where's AbbVie? Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? Let's just put a full stop. BlackRock, Coca-Cola. APA, there we go, there's the first one. Right, so the first one to change is APA does no longer exist. So if I just press the cross, remove, right, APA is gone. H&R Block is no longer there either. Yeah, so H&R Block's gone. So we've only had 2 companies leave the top 50 and 2 companies enter it. So if we enter, we need to add these last 2. Hey, what happened then? Plus, search, come on, search, CMA, commercial, that's the one, commercial, add to pie, and then presume we can just add ZION, Zion's Bank Corporation, ZION, that's the one, add to pie. So presume now I just press, do I just press that? You will lose your current selection. Are you sure you want to continue? Okay, keep select. Oh, maybe it's this arrow at the right and bottom. Maybe that's what you press. So for some bizarre reason, it's added them at like 10% each, hasn't it? For some, yeah, look, why would it do that? So let's put that right down. Let's put that right down. Let's see if I can type it in. Doesn't even show it for some reason. There's something wrong with the app there. It doesn't show the number. I presume I'm typing 0.4 now, yeah. Yeah, there's a glitch in the app there. I'm just going based off memory here. 0.4 tick, yeah. And we're back to 100%. Okay, so now I've got all of the right companies in the pie. I'll click confirm for now. All right, so given the market some time to open, I've purchased my Pfizer, so that's in bold now. So now we've just got these two purchases to make, and that one will probably be tomorrow morning. So we can now just go in and edit the pie. Slightly unbalanced. Into holdings. Edit pie. Okay, Cisco Systems should be 4.8. Bristol Myers Squibb 4.8. Home Depot 4.5. 0.4. Zions 0.4. Right, so we've got 0.2. I realised last time I adjusted the smallest one, but that's illogical, isn't it? Because it has less of an effect on the big ones percentage-wise. So I should really adjust the ones at the top. So let's make Cisco Systems a bit higher, 4.9, and Bristol Myers Squibb a bit higher, 4.9, and then we get to 100. Confirm. So how do we add cash to this fund? This pie, sorry. Yeah, removed from pie. Okay, good. But I still own them, but they're removed from the pie. Overview. Invest. Yeah, it's just the invest, isn't it? 323. Self-balancing. Custom distance self-balancing. Right, this isn't going to sell anything though, is it? That's annoying. Should I rebalance first? I've got these two to be sold. Well, it's only £1 each, isn't it? So it's not going to make much difference. But, well, no, it does make a difference because now if I wanted to do a rebalance, that's not enough to do a rebalance with, is it? I want to do the sell at the same time as I'm buying with the new money and rebalancing. But I'm not sure that's going to work. Because if I just rebalance now, it does all those. And it seems to be doing a minimum of £1 a time. Let's just see what happens, just for the sake of learning about how it all works. So if we go to the overview and invest, yeah, and we're doing the self-balancing, but it's not doing any sells, you see. I wish it would do the sells here at the same time. Mind you, I don't think that, I don't know what's going to happen, because it's going to end up with 52 holdings instead of 50 if it doesn't do those sells. Or I wonder whether it's just not going to do the ones at the bottom. Let's just see what happens. Because there's a limit of 50, isn't there? So I don't understand how it can do this without selling the two that have been excluded from the pie now. Because it's going to break its own rules of 50, its own limitations of 50 holdings. Right, so it's done. Let's see what's actually happened then. Holdings. There's 24p of cash. That's annoying. Bristol Myers Squibb. So it's balanced. Close enough. Balanced. Or at target. At target. Oh, hang on. Did that just update? At target. There's nothing here that's out. It's going to be the lower ones though, isn't it, where it goes out? 1.79. So nothing is far away. So it's got everything close, but it's still holding on to these two. Yeah, so it's only drawing a rebalance or a withdraw funds event when they get removed. So I think what I should do is remove them manually. So how do I remove edit pie? No, it's not edit in pie. I think it's something here. I think it's the withdraw. I think I can take those two holdings out of the pie, but not actually sell them and just keep them separately. But then obviously I'd just sell them anyway. So it's a withdraw event that I need. And what was it? About £2, wasn't it, in total? Choose how much to sell from each instrument. There we go. Is it these two? So he won't let me do it because it's less than £1. Oh no, it's asking me to type in how much, isn't it? That's not how I want to do it though, because what if the share price moves and I'm left with a few pence in that stock? That's not... Dividends, sharing is off, I don't care about that. I go to the holdings. Is there an export? There's a withdraw, but that implies that it's going to... here we go. Right, so it's the three dots, and I need to export those two holdings, don't I? Import investments, export investments, duplicate, export investments. And I can't bloody remember which ones they were now. APA, H&R block. Right, so that I should still hold these, but they'll be exported from the pie, and they'll appear in this list hopefully. Yeah, confirm how much of each investment we'd like to export. Confirm. Yeah, there they are. So now I should be able to sell these two manually. So if we go into APA, sell. Don't want to sell by value, I want to sell by number of shares. That is all that I own, isn't it? Yeah. Review order. Sell. Send sell order. Okay, so I've managed to achieve my goal, but that was way too much like working out. That it shouldn't have been that difficult. And what it's resulted in is me adding less to the pie than I wanted to. Okay, so it just occurred to me what I should have done is obvious in hindsight. Now that I know how to do the exporting from pie, what I should have done was I should have exported those first by going here, export investments, and then selecting those two holdings. And then I could sell them outside of the pie. That means they'd appear here just as another holding, and I could sell them there. And then that cash would then be added to the amount I add into the pie and do the self-balancing. And that would have meant that I would have put in the full amount, because I ended up like putting in about £2 less than I wanted to. But that would have, because what that means is because you can sell them outside of a pie when it's less than £1. So yeah, the answer is do what I did last first. But yeah, I've got it for next time. I know how to do it. All right, there we go. That was a bit of a faff, wasn't it? I think I've worked it out though. That's it then, I guess. I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.